As everybody should be.
Oh, let's see. Okay, this one is on. Instagram is
I just
also.
packed the bowl. Do you or Joel want to hit it?
I don't smoke, so
You
I'm
are
I
now.
don't
Shit,
know.
dude.
I'm. It's just I always tell people I'm high on my own brain. Like I don't need that, and I guess if somebody truly knows me, that would make sense. Okay, now I think we're live. So just say something, whatever. I'm just gonna check the sound real quick. Just testing or something. Let me see.
Can you hear me?
And I guess if somebody truly knows me, that would
Testing, testing. One, two.
it's a delay on Instagram. Okay, perfect. Sounds good to me. We're rocking and rolling. Okay, this is a big day today. This is
Is it a pretty big delay going on, or?
no, it's just certain. I stream 6 platforms at the same time, so they're all like a little bit. I think Rumble is live, but like Instagram is a slight delay. But who cares?
Right.
Today's episode 28, Facts with Maaxx, and we're just gonna start covering the sovereign life. Because I believe 3 things to leave the matrix: heal yourself, become a sovereign being, and learn how to manifest or be spiritual. If you got these three covered, you're no longer in the matrix. I've been having this conversation with people online. They're like, I am not in the matrix anymore. I'm like, do you pay taxes? Okay, you're still in the matrix. Well, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself however you want, and then let's let the conversation flow.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm really grateful for you sharing your platform. Um, I appreciate that. My name's Taylor, Taylor Morgan. My Instagram is Taylor Invests, and I'm no different than anybody else out there. Just,
Don't say that.
just,
You just know.
well, I mean, I know things, but I'm no different than anybody else. I just, hit the books a little better, a little more. Um, I just faced 8 years and got myself out of that shit. So, you know, I got some shit to say, and people need to wake the fuck up, and people need to stop being a little bitch and honestly taking action. There's a reason why these people are called public servants.
Yep.
That's because they're here to serve us, and I'm over here watching everybody pay parking tickets.
Yep.
I'm talking on the most minute scale here. That's treason, bolted into the ground, literally being enforced,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And to make sense of what I'm talking about, that's what I really bring up to people at the beginning of this shit, to open your eye.
Yeah.
Um, when you park on a public street, like here at the beach where I'm at, and you're asked to pay for parking, well, public servants can't charge a member of the public to be in a public area. Make that make sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to. It's treason. It's fraud. And this country used to go to war over a 2% tax hike right the fuck now. And, nobody's doing shit. Everybody's been distracted by everything: video games, your job, your family. Well, your first duty is to, the sovereign body of we the people, and to make sure that we hold these treasonous traitors accountable that have allegiance to the United States Washington District of Columbia Incorporated, that was incorporated back in London in 1783 or something around there. Now, it's also owned and operated by the London Crown Temple Syndicate.
Mm-hmm.
It's a foreign entity. There's a reason why you can go pull any cop, fake judge, any fake lawyer or attorney. You can pull all their foreign agent registry.
Mm-hmm.
Where? From the Foreign Agents Registration Act through the Department of Justice's website. They're foreign agents to the land and soil. They uphold statutes, rules, regulations, codes, ordinances, mandates, and all the like as if it's law. It's not. It's exactly what the fuck it says. It's rules and regulations that's in direct violation to the supreme law of the land, which is the ironclad constitution that is unrebutted and cannot be rebutted in any way. You cannot come up against it. Anything in repugnancy coming up against the constitution in any way, shape, or form is null and void instantly. Um, this country's been fucking duped. And, it's time people wake the fuck up. And it's not only time people wake the fuck up, it's time people take action. You have a
Mhm.
duty to do so.
Yep.
Every cop, every lawyer, uh, they're all treasonous traitors. Although with every breath that they take, they're contractually bound to the British Associated Registry.
Hmm.
British,
How many
okay,
that
British.
actually work with this do you think are aware of that they do that? Do you think any of them are, or do you think they just blindly think that they're doing the good deed?
Well, that's a good question, but I'll start off my answer by saying anybody that, reads. First of all, no, this country is dumb as fuck. Nobody knows the Constitution. If
Yep.
you know the Constitution, you'd understand that the only thing that constitutes a crime is you have a right to face the injured party, see the
Mm-hmm.
stolen property, or damaged property.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is null and void. It's a rule, a regulation. Fuck all that nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
So, all these statutes, all these rules and regulations, well, when you go be a cop or any public servant that is around that realm to enforce those, well, when you read those fucking books that you are to enforce and you look at it and you're like, yeah, I'll go ahead and enforce that. Well, you're a piece of shit, dude. Like, that goes up against the fucking contract that started this land. But the true framework of this country is fraud
Mm-hmm.
and treason. These county courts, they're really brokerage firms. They create fraudulent bonds without anybody's knowledge or consent. It would be the defendant in the matter, out of their all caps name, and then trade that motherfucker on the secondary market. Uh-uh.
Yep.
They all have a financial interest in your case.
Mm-hmm.
You can send a FOIA request to Chris, otherwise known as Chris. It's called the Court Registry Investment System.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you FOIA them, and they're gonna send you back a transcript, um, showing that they have a financial interest to charge people in general and charge people with the felony, and they get a fat ass check at the end of the year for it. As well as drafting up fraudulent bid bonds and trading that shit on the secondary market. They're
Mm-hmm.
creating it out of your name. Um, so, everybody has a right to carry a firearm how you fucking see fit, no matter what type of firearm.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a privilege, it's a right. It's unconstitutional to convert a right into a privilege. Every single thing that these people do is treason. Why do they get away with it? Because everybody's been focused on everything but a law book,
Yeah. And they also know
but your own laws.
legal language, which is, I'm going to say if you met me 5 years ago, maybe I wouldn't attempt to do a lot of the things I'm attempting to do now because I didn't know anything. And I think people need to start actually doing a little bit of research for themselves because I understand that it's scary. You're saying, okay, it's you have the right to carry a gun, but how many people out there without like a license or whatever do you think is going to walk around carrying their gun like, let me just give it a shot and see
Well,
what happens?
yeah, that's the thing. So you have the right to carry a gun, but you need to have the backbone, the
Yep.
and the awareness that you're gonna be arrested and you're gonna be falsely imprisoned and you're gonna have the foundation and the education to stand on the knowledge, go
Mm-hmm.
to appeal, take that shit to the higher court that has nothing to do with the court that upholds
Mm-hmm.
statutes, and stand on what you know,
Mm-hmm.
because you will win. But that's what it takes, dude. Like, it takes that, and it also takes drafting up lawsuits
Yeah.
figuring out how to draft lawsuits up yourself by going to YouTube or booking a consultation from me,
Mm-hmm.
however you can.
Mm-hmm.
Figuring out how to hold these people's feet to the fire for the treason and fraud that they commit every day.
Yes. So maybe let's take a step back to now we're talking about something extreme. Okay, I'm carrying a gun and maybe I get arrested. Okay, it might sound like a little risky stuff for the average person.
No, for sure. I'm not really like, I'm just,
But
we all have a right to do so, and that's like kind of the process you would have to go
yeah.
through to actually apply that,
So let's talk about
sadly.
traffic ticket because you said maybe that is something that sounds a little bit less risky, right? So you're saying I don't have to pay a traffic ticket. So what would you even do? So let's say I go park somewhere. Like I know, but I'm asking you because I want you to answer. But I don't pay my fucking traffic tickets. But let's say you go park somewhere and I'm not gonna pay my ticket, and then I get a ticket. Okay, now what? Do I just rip it in pieces and throw it in the trash?
I mean, yeah, you can ignore them
Mm,
because at the end of the day, they are talking to the dead ends legus, not you.
yeah.
And I mean, everything really is contract law. It's really a transaction. They're trying to
Mm-hmm.
contract with you. They
Yeah.
need your consent to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Without your consent, it's null and void.
Yeah.
There has to be meeting of the minds within contract law.
Mm-hmm.
With any, if there's any hidden and unrevealed contract within said contract,
Mm-hmm.
which every contract that they issue has a hidden and unrevealed contract within that piece of paper,
Yeah.
it's null and void. It's not a true contract in contract law.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that, I mean, you can go to court and say what I just said and stand on that and speak to the record. You need to speak to the record. You're not talking to this fake ass public servant
Mm-hmm.
that's committing treason, and you're speaking to the record to get it on record. That way,
Mm-hmm.
if you need to take it to appeal to the higher court, that this is a very small matter, but I'm just
Yeah.
going through the processes of things that you need to do for anything. You got
Mm-hmm.
to take it to the higher court. If you lose trial, that's where it begins.
Yeah.
You take it to appeal where the lawful people that correct the treason on the lower courts are.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you get this shit corrected and overturned. But
Mm-hmm.
you need to know this shit and be willing to go through it. And that's an easy bag, too. Learn how to file a lawsuit on your own without an attorney or a lawyer. That their allegiance, their duty is to the court, not their
Mm-hmm.
client. Remember, they have a contractual allegiance to the British Associated Registry, the bar. The duty is to the court, the brokerage firm, not you, the client, the dead ends legis, the chattel, the capitis diminutio maxima,
Mm-hmm.
the all caps name with all loss of rights. So, people got to get off their fucking ass and really do shit out here.
Yeah.
It's an issue.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm gonna just throw in here. So I know that some of the things you're talking about right now is a little bit like complicated language. So maybe everybody doesn't really understand. And I'm gonna admit to everybody, English is not my first language, and I don't know a lot of super fancy English words. I don't. So like, how the hell did I get into all this stuff? Well, I'm not a chat GPT person in general. I don't like AI very much, but in this case, I did find it very beneficial because I started reading a lot of laws and I didn't necessarily understand everything. So I put it in ChatGPT and let it translate it for me in a very simple language. I was like, okay, now I get it. So I don't think anyone has a reason to not start to understand a little bit, even if it sounds super complicated. We all have a freaking phone, use a little AI or go to somebody. I've at this point used probably four different people, including Taylor here, to try to, help me. Like, I don't know everything. This is a whole new world of information. And I would still, because actually maybe you can touch a little bit on that. Let's say that somebody is, okay, I want to kind of get into this world a little bit. I want to, figure out how I can be more sovereign, but I don't really know what to do. Like, for example, if I get stopped by a cop for whatever reason, certain things I might not know what to say. So we've already talked about it. I'm going to obviously hire you to help me with some language so I can do it myself. But as of now, you do offer the service of doing it for people, correct?
Yes, I offer a on-call attorney service where you can
Mm-hmm.
FaceTime me 24/7 for a monthly subscription,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll speak on your behalf to the cop as your attorney.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, I'll give people a tip right now.
Mm-hmm.
I've done a lot of time. I've been incarcerated for, a good portion of my life. So
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the inside of actual courtrooms and how they work, not no law and order bullshit. So, you know, what people, it is complicated. So people need to understand that legal and lawful are two different fucking worlds. They do not mean the same thing.
Yes.
Legal and lawful are different, period. Legal is codes, foreign corporate policy, all this extra bullshit, right? Foreign corporate policy, statutes, rules, regulations, ordinances, mandates, codes, all that foreign bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
That's not law. What's law is up under the Constitution. And to keep it simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that constitutes a crime under the Constitution, well, I have a right to face the injured party. Run that.
Mm-hmm.
Show me the damaged property or the stolen property. Bring it forth. Everything else is null and void. So if you're speeding, oh, you got tinted windows. Oh, I'm carrying my fucking 20 firearms on me. Where's the injured party? Where's the stolen property? Where's the damaged property?
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is null and void, and you could get a big fucking bag when you get falsely arrested for
Mm-hmm.
whatever situation you're invoking your rights, and stand on not really signing anything, don't take a guilty plea, none of that shit,
Yep.
and filing a lawsuit against these people, you
Yeah.
know. But it's a in-depth conversation. I'm not trying to, get too much in the weeds on that,
Mm-hmm.
but
I think that today is our first thing out of what I believe is going to be a lot more. But today, let's just kind of touch on some different things. Maybe we'll do the crazier, deeper stuff later, and just like take today like the little small things. So, for example, if
well,
somebody,
let me give you an example on this. Like if a cop pulled me over, like how you asked.
mm-hmm,
Well, you're not a U.S. citizen. You're a private American, state national, non-U.S. citizen and court official.
mm-hmm,
What's your reasonable, articulable suspicion of
mm-hmm,
a crime? And remember, there's only three things constitutionally that constitute a crime that this fucking guy took an oath to uphold,
mm-hmm,
but isn't at your window. So, you know, when they get if but there's no crime that's been committed.
mm-hmm,
So, uh, what's your reason for the stop? You're already impeding my freedom of movement.
yep,
You're already violating my constitutional rights, sir.
mm-hmm,
So, how can I help you, public servant? I'd
mm-hmm,
like to be on my way. Well, any bullshit reason they're giving you, right? Like any policy that you're breaking, speeding, or whatever the fuck your
mm-hmm,
tail lights out, there's no crime that's been committed under the Constitution.
mm-hmm,
Um, well, then they're going to go ahead and try to ask for your identification.
mm-hmm,
Well, remember, you're a private American, state national, non-US citizen,
mm-hmm,
court official. Well, they work for us. We're members of the sovereign body of we the people. They're public servants. They're to uphold law, not foreign corporate policy. Not the United States Washington District of Columbia Incorporated, owned by the London Crown Temple Syndicate's policy. Okay? So when they ask for your identification after letting you know the bullshit reason why they stopped you, well,
mm-hmm,
that's also violating your constitutional rights on top of the two that they already have, impeding
mm-hmm,
your freedom of movement and upholding some bullshit policy that's in direct violation of the Constitution. Now they're trying to fucking identify you when they don't have a lawful reason to do so.
mm-hmm.
So there's three fucking violations that they're constitutionally fucking up on, breaking their oath. Um, but I'm a private American state national, sir. What's the reason for the stop? Okay, well, under the Constitution that you took an oath to uphold, there's no crime that's been committed. Can I get on my way? Any bullshit he has to say besides, yeah, you're detained. I bring forth your supervisor. I don't answer questions, public servant. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I get busy real quick. I get down to the nitty gritty. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I don't waste time. There's no respect there. There's no disrespect, but fuck you too at the same time.
Yeah.
Uh, so at that point, not really talking, I'm waiting for the supervisor to
Mm-hmm.
either educate this individual and have me be on my way
Mm-hmm.
or get unlawfully taken out of the car.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it could possibly, you know, further into arrest for a night or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all unlawful. And you just have to stand on your shit like that, and at the end of the day, file a lawsuit, whether you're unlawfully arrested or not.
Yeah.
Because everything I just told you, you just saw multiple constitutional rights being violated. That's pretty fucking expensive for these people, but y'all don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
You need to
But in your
book
opinion, a
that
lot
consult.
of cops probably don't know this, correct? They think they do their job, and you might, when you're doing this, you're probably going to face some sort of rejection. Somebody actually wrote in the comment, John Juan, I saw you, about the postage, which is funny because I just got home from the post office using your method you showed me, and I just sent out all of my 12 letters completely for free. And I did have a little bit of
Yeah.
rejection at the first post office, though. Um, the first one, I've been in there before asking for kind of weird stuff. And he looks at me, he's like, I've seen this before. It's not going to work here, he said. And I'm like, fuck. So went to a different post office, no questions asked, took my stuff, gave me her blessings and have a beautiful day, and I was like, damn, that was smooth. Okay, so if you guys do get a little bit of rejection, doesn't mean you are doing something wrong. A lot of these people don't know what it is you're doing or asking for because they have which is very common in the system, that they don't get trained to know this because it makes it more difficult for us to do what we have the right to do.
Big time. You know, don't give these people the credit like, oh, that they're supposed to know what you're talking about. Fuck no. This is all hidden knowledge, hidden law.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're running into some flack, but you know, make sure you got your ducks in a row so that that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause that way you could just go to the next fucking post office and handle business like you did. You know what I mean?
I mean, I will
'Cause
say
there's a lot of,
it's not that I
go
can't
ahead, go ahead.
mail. It's not a big deal, but I want to be sure that, whatever we're talking about, I've actually done it. I understand the situation. Okay, I got rejection. That was a good thing because now I know, okay, I might get rejection. What do I do then? Okay, I simply went to a different location this time,
Right,
but let's say that that one also had rejected me. I actually did. Like you said, I just printed out all the freaking laws. I had them with me. She didn't even ask. So I was like, okay, whatever. But
right.
definitely have a little bit of something to respond with. I've seen all of these, which you probably have too, these TikTok videos where people get stopped by a cop and they say, I don't have a driver's license. And the cop is like, well, you have to have a driver's license. And they're like, no, I don't. And they're like, yes, you do. And that's it, and then they pull them out of the car because they don't have any other answer than that. I just don't have one, so definitely
Right,
like,
yeah, that's
yeah,
not good enough.
to respond. Yeah.
I mean, it is a maxim of law. It does, like, it is on paper out there. Like, if you don't know your rights, you therefore have none. It is your duty to know your shit, to know your own laws of your land and apply them. It is our duty
Mm-hmm.
to overthrow a tyrannical government as
Mm-hmm.
expediently as we see fit. That's why they don't teach the Declaration of Independence in school anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they ever have, that's why they stopped.
Yeah.
Um, we have a duty to know all this shit because it'll set us free. Everything's already paid for, man. UCC Article 3, Part 6 clearly fucking states for a kid. All debt is discharged. You
Yes.
know that. That's why you're smiling, paying
Yeah.
your bills and shit. Let's
That's
go.
what
Fuck
what
yeah.
it was, because I've been obviously down the rabbit hole on debt discharge for some time, and I will be honest, I have just submitted the last. and final or last documentation basically. So my journey here was, okay, sending in the first batch of letters, obviously straight rejection. It was just like, no, you're wrong, and some of the companies even submitted like the whole stack of their policy. But again, we're talking policy, we're talking law, right? So obviously rejection.
Right.
And I see how some people would probably be like, oh shit, I'm fucking up here, and maybe stopped. Okay, so we're going to round number two. Round number two, some companies responded, some didn't. Round number three, now suddenly I have missed phone calls every single day from these companies, and emails and letters and voicemail saying, please call us. We are very concerned with our customers' requests and we want to come up with a solution. One company even offered to immediately discharge half of my debt. And I said, half of my debt? No, no, no. We're going to have it
That's
all.
cause you're that's
You
cause it's over. It's a wrap. They're trying to fucking get
know,
something
and
before like they give up because
And they
like you
might
did
have.
everything
And I
right.
mean,
You
if you
discharged it.
are an average person and you open your letter and your credit card company offers to take off $10,000 of your debt, I can see that sounding like a very good offer. Of course. Here's the thing, I'm not doing this for the money. I am doing this because I want to know all of these things. So if somebody gets into it, don't give up. If you know your rights, you know your rights. Then it doesn't matter what they say, because if you know you are right, then why would you accept anything else?
Exactly. Exactly. And that's exactly how everybody needs to start acting. When you know your rights, if you do, why would you accept anything less? When you
Yeah.
know what I just told you about, the basic beginner entrance level thing that I use to for people to kind of understand what's going on for
Mm-hmm.
a parking meter for the basic level of treason they commit before I start talking about the fraud that this brokerage firm that fronts up as a court does
Mm-hmm.
with these fake judges and these fucking attorneys. Well, a parking meter. It's
Mm-hmm.
treason bolted into the ground. You can't charge a member of the public to be in a public area. It's our area. You can't do that lawfully. That's fraud right in front of your fucking face. And people all up and down just complying, complacent,
Yeah.
not even knowing. And then you try to tell somebody and they're like, oh, I'd rather just pay. So, it's kind of like trust. Like I'm that motherfucker, dude. I talk to everybody. I'll get in people's shit, bro. Like in conversations or whatever,
Yeah.
anywhere I'm at in this shit, in this world. And a lot of people couldn't give a fuck. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people don't care. It's too
But
much hassle.
it's kind of like compared to COVID.
So
You can just comply, just like in COVID. You can just comply and put your fucking mask on. And my friends would always tell me, Max, why do you have to make such a deal about this? Just put the mask on. In the airport, I would pick fights with fucking people at the airport. And they said, what, why are you
that's
like,
right.
why? And I said, because do you not see the big picture? It's not about, I can't put a mask on for a second. That's not the problem here. It's the big picture. Same here. Let's say the parking is $5. It's not that I can't pay $5. Of course I cannot. $5, I don't give a shit about that. It's the big picture of you
We're
repeating.
not the debtor. We're the creditor.
Yeah. If you
We don't
repeat
need to pay.
I, you are fucking up the world. And this, I was going to say the country, but the world. You are participating in the stupidity. So people have to stop. And I think just like everything, if you comply, you're part of the problem. And
Yep.
here's the thing.
We're the
I don't know if
creditor,
you know
not the
this.
debtor.
I have also complied in the matrix in the past. So I don't judge people, but when you have the knowledge, stop doing it. Now you're doing the wrong thing. When you
Yep.
don't know, okay, you don't know. But when you know, now you can't fucking play along anymore.
Right, right. And that's my point. I've just spoken to so many people about shit and
Mm-hmm.
people couldn't really give a fuck. Their interest like ain't there, they'd rather pay the ticket like, people'd rather just fucking come to the beach and just fucking, you know, like
But we can say like this. Hey
just
guys,
be
everybody out there.
incompetent.
What would you say if you could live a life where you don't have to go to a job, you don't have to hustle for your paycheck, and you can maybe go to the beach a little bit more often because you have more freedom. Doesn't that sound nice? Oh, and by the way, maybe you don't have to pay any taxes either. Doesn't that sound kind of nice? I mean, I don't want to go to a fucking job, 8 9 to 5, whatever the fuck people do. I don't even understand this shit.
Man, man, and when you find out that you're getting paid through the company you work for out of your own fucking estate, you ought to feel some type of way about that
Right? They literally took the
and do
money that is
something.
already yours and paid you with it. It's like I come and hire
Yep.
you, but before I hired you, I stole your wallet. Like, and
Fuck,
then I paid
man.
you back with your
Like,
own. Yeah.
and
So
all these schools, like, the only thing these schools need to be teaching is how to like draft your own self-settled asset protection trust,
yes,
and be
but
your own fucking trustee of it. Like,
mhm.
man,
And actually,
it's
things
ridiculous
to
out
do.
here.
And I am very grateful you told me instead of hiring somebody to do it, I am not doing it on my own with some guidance because, which made perfect sense. I was going to hire somebody to set it up, but after talking to you, and you said, well, if you haven't set it up, then you don't know the details of it, right? Like, then you don't actually know what the fuck's,
Correct.
which made perfect.
Correct. Like you're gonna want to reach out to a couple, specifically in my opinion, Layla Lockwood. I'll shout her out. Like that's the beast
I
right
am,
there. Like if you want to trust, you
uh,
you go learn from her and she'll
mm,
teach you everything you need to
okay.
know to draft your own trust and
Yes.
then be the own trustee of it instead of an attorney or some third party. That because when your shit's in trust, the trust controls it. No probate, no lawsuits, it's protected.
Yep. And
But
that
whoever the trustee is, they control it. You want to be the trustee, not some attorney or some fuckhead.
Yeah. And I also would say watch out for, like I told you, we had a person, I'm not going to mention any names, but a person I had been following and was recommended to use and ended up paying this person, and the person responded to me that I had to make this individual my trustee, which I already knew that I wasn't supposed to do that. So I was kind of surprised, and I just responded, "No, no,
Right?
we're all good, I'm already got it covered." So
Yeah.
you don't want somebody
Be
out there,
careful out there,
yeah,
folks. Like,
into these scams.
just be careful. Do your own due diligence. I'll say that time and time again, dude. Like, I got the book Suits and Chancery behind me, Law of Subrogation,
Uh-huh.
Gilbert Law Summaries on Trust on the seat right fucking behind me. Do your own fucking due diligence.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, do you mind if I show a couple
Oh,
documents of like,
yeah,
okay, so
anything you want.
I just got pulled over a couple weeks ago, right, for pulling over on the side of Pacific Coast Highway in Newport, and it's a public road, right? And,
Mm-hmm.
and it says where I pulled over, no stopping anytime. I don't give a fuck about that nonsense. It's my
Yeah,
land and soil. That's foreign corporate policy.
I love it.
Straight up,
Mhm.
period. Okay? So I invoked my rights. I wound up getting unlawfully imprisoned that night.
Wait, you
And
were just stopping by the
with
side of the road.
uh-huh. Yeah,
Oh,
for obstructing.
interesting.
Me invoking my rights became
Oh,
obstructing.
got it.
They didn't like that.
Oh,
You know
interesting.
what I'm saying? So, um, let's see here. So, I had a court date set for March 19th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I filed documents at the precinct the day before the fucking court date. First of all, I tried to go file them at the courthouse. That was some bullshit.
Uh-huh.
Um, they always say you can't file shit when you don't have a case, even though a department just unlawfully arrested you and is telling you to go to this courthouse on this date.
Mm-hmm.
So that's ridiculous. They refer you back to the department. So I did. And I filed some documents. All of a sudden, I go the next day to court, March 19th. It's not on the docket.
Yeah. Oh, it was just gone?
Of course, they have a year to. Yeah, it's gone. Run that shit.
Meaning
Fuck
you,
with me. I'll take
oh,
your job, your funds, your
yeah.
house. Hmm?
You're also, you're a very
What?
honest man, and I understand, like, you will take the risk of the fact that you got a court date, but also you know your rights, you've done your research, and you know that that court date doesn't matter.
For sure. Before it's over, like before my time's over, I'll definitely be one of the people out here that's hunted by the United States Washington District
I'm
of
with you.
Columbia
I
Incorporated. All
him.
these cops, all these municipalities, these courts, these lower courts, I will be hunted because I'm out here exposing it. I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna drop I'll tell you what, I'm gonna drop one of the best documents out here. The whole one, all the pages. Just give it to people
Mm-hmm.
on my page today after this.
About you, by the
And
way.
it's gonna give you all the jurisdiction back over your estate that they
Mm-hmm.
fraudulently and treasonously take.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think you froze up. Can you hear me? Oh, bullshit. Hold on. He disappeared. Let me see. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Let me see here. You froze up. Either way, guys. So, just let me see. You can jump off, come back in. So all the things we talk about, like websites or links or whatever, I put them in the caption as usual. And I am seeing comments, guys. I'm going to go through them as soon as I can. If we get him back, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Oh, the text isn't even going through. He might have like lost service. Oh, okay. We'll see. He probably comes back. Either way, stick around, guys. So yeah, I am currently. So what I did today was I went to the post office. I do a certain things on the envelopes. I don't pay for my mail. They send out my letters. Get a lot of these. So I'm in the final step of debt discharge, and I did see that we got a comment about birth certificates. I'm gonna ask him when he comes back, if he comes back. I have recently filed all my stuff on commonlawcourt.com. I can show that sites for now. Commonlawcourt.com. So commonlawcourt.com. On here, you can, if you scroll down, you can record your birth certificate, claim ownership of your name, record lawful birth, and then you can also get your passports and IDs, which is basically a non. I don't know that all the terms properly, but I'm not an American citizen, but I am American, right? So it's still an American passport, but it's not connected to the United States. So you go in and get new birth certificates, everything. I'm also going to ask him about it. I know there are different ways to do this. I think honestly there are a lot of different ways. And something that Taylor actually taught me that just kind of was like, oh my God, when he said it, because I was doing this debt discharge stuff and I was like, okay, so, I don't want to do it wrong, right? So you hire people and you get the stuff, and then I use them online, and then I'm trying to put together all my stuff, right? But I'm always been told, like, don't copy anybody, don't do the same as somebody else. And I was like, okay, but what if I do it wrong? Either way, I do everything. I sent it over to him like way after I filed everything, and he was like, oh wow, you've done a good job. This looks really good. Good job. And then he told me, according to the Constitution, you can. Let me see here. There we go. Where did you go?
Over there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, let me try to get my headset back connected.
Oh. We're like, clearly, whatever you were saying was not meant to be said. We were talking about some birth certificates here because I got a question. Let me see here.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yes? No? Mm-mm-mm.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Perfect. Sweet. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, what were you saying? Keep saying what you said. We were talking about some birth certificates here.
So I'm gonna go ahead and drop one of the best court documents that I have after the stream today.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it gives you jurisdiction over your estate. That's your all caps name that was created by the state through the birth certificate,
Yes.
which is really a bond.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been trading that fucking shit on the secondary market ever since you've been born,
Yep.
making
That's what they do.
God knows how much off of you,
Tons.
off of
Yep.
your labor. Yeah. So I got a document. I'll show you right now. Actually, let me hop back up over here. It's a nice sunny day. You're stuck in the
Yeah,
office.
here too. That's why I was so hot. I went out to the post office in my super fancy outfit, and then I have ordered uh headset and body cam, and also I'm gonna be rocking Taylor's merch here because doesn't he just look like he's the shit when he walks around like that? You don't want to fuck with that.
Y'all gotta cop one of these, dude.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
You know, rep that motherfucker that'll really fight for your ass.
Yep.
So, um, hit me up if you want one. So the document that I'm talking about, let
Mm-hmm.
me, I filed like 12 fucking packets of shit with these fucking people because fuck these people. All right. So we got a testimony under God and notice of acceptance to General Executor's office.
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks. That's how you move paper out here. Let me
Hmm.
so can I read a little bit?
Yeah. Please do.
Okay. So that's the title of the page. It says from the office of the General Executor, Taylor Robert Morgan. It's going to be your all caps name. Certificate of service. The subject, grantor's slash testator's assertion of right and acceptance to office of General Executor and Chief Administrator for the estate of your all caps name. A last will and testament under God for your all caps name estate. 1. Situation and purpose to confirm by acknowledgement the appointment of the Taylor Robert Morgan to the office of General Executor and Chief Administrator for the trust and all matters governing the estate of Taylor Robert Morgan, all caps, as the as per the intentions of the grantor and testator's last will and testament filed within uh, whatever county court, state of California, the county of Register slash Recorder of Deeds. 1A. Let it be known to all that by this duly recorded notice that the office of General Executor, which is what these fake judges and fake magistrates
Mm-hmm.
put themselves at over that state created trust when you're really the grantor of it, you're really the creator of it, the executor. Um, Now, yeah, and the beneficiary, it's your trust.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let it be known to all that by this duly recorded notice that the office of General Executor for the Taylor Robert Morgan estate is hereby occupied. Nunc pro tunc. 1B. The divine creator as grantor slash creator of Taylor Robert Morgan beneficiary style, upper lower with a colon and a dash,
Mm-hmm.
the triune of body, mind, spirit, as the original trust corpus, did gift, grant, and convey the divine right of use into trust for our benefit. 1C. As witnessed before all heaven and earth, the Creator granted to us at birth the immutable and irrevocable rights over our name, our free will, our flesh, our energy, our labor, our mind, and our divine spirit. Taylor Robert Morgan, beneficiary style. The triune body, mind, spirit with authority and dominion from the divine creator, do hereby pronounce, claim, and occupy the office of General Executor for Taylor Robert Morgan, Estate, Nunc Pro Tunc. 1D. As we have accepted the appointment of occupant of the office of General Executor, no office nor officers possess any lawful rights or our recognition to continue as agents, administrators, and guardians on our behalf. Therefore, whether they had acted through an office of custodian, protector, steward, keeper, guardian, attorney in fact, or any other title, we hereby pronounce their acts null and void. Nunc pro tunc. 1E. As for any assumed filial claims of the state over us, let it be known to all that we hereby disavow the state having any filial rights over us for the first time. We disavow the state having any filial rights over us for the second time, and we disavow the state for having any filial rights over us before the divine creator and all heaven and earth for the third and final time. 2. Cancellation. This assertion cancels, voids, rescinds, revokes, and repudiates all policy, statutes, contracts, and presumptions of presumed executorial administrative authority. This appointment is valid from your receipt of this notice. Mission and objective. To publish and promulgate the testators and grantors' assertion of right and affirming the office of General Executor and Chief Administrator for the estate of your all caps name, Taylor Robert Morgan, Taylor R. Morgan, T.R. Morgan, Taylor Morgan, and every variation of an artificial entity, i.e., collective entity, known herein, both jointly and severally, herein as the estate, while maintaining a peaceful relationship with those in care of persons serving as trustees, fiduciaries, and public servants appointed by the executor to serve the interest of the estate, let it be known that I hereby appoint public servants, judge, in this case, Judas C. Clark for the Superior Municipal Court for the Riverside County, California. Attorney General Mike Hestron, the District Attorney's Office for the County of Riverside. Governor of California Gavin Newsom, piece of shit, fucking pedophile. And California Secretary of State Shirley Weber as fiduciaries over the estate, and they are hereby ordered to withdraw all charges against the estate, grant the estate a full pardon of all charges against the estate, and award the relief sought through my fucking fee schedule of hell. Um, this is the said public servants only orders, and this court, which is the executor's office, as the yeah. This is the said public servants only orders and responsibilities. Any other action is unauthorized and will be deemed null and void by this court, which is the executor's office. As the general executor, I, Taylor Robert Morgan, beneficiary style, living soul style, how you write that out in trust law, give the said public servants 10 days to execute my orders. Failure to do so will result in breach of fiduciary's duties, which is trust law, the highest law, being violated in total disregard towards the highest office, which is the office of General Executor, the court. Now I'll stop there. That's page 3. There's 10 pages.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the documents that I filed with these fucking people.
So
We are not to be fucked with. We
what
are royalty.
desired
We are
outcome
kings.
from filing this? What is the desired outcome?
Oh, well, remember I told you that case wasn't on the docket the next day
Mm-hmm. Yep.
at court?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh, so
yeah,
you filed that and then it was gone.
yeah. That's one of the 12 things I filed.
Okay. So in what
But yeah.
scenario could you use this? So in this case, it was a court case, right? So this is written specifically for that.
Yeah, I have the template. You could just, it's really, it's written out for taking back jurisdiction over the estate that they claim that they have guardianship over, which they don't. Um, and you could just take your name out or whatever, put your name where it's supposed to be. It's a template, you know, it's already written up.
So there's a lot of different documents for different things. And also, as he's mentioning, this beneficiary style, and sometimes he says name caps, these things do matter. I don't necessarily understand everything of that, but when I do debt discharge, it's very important how you write your name, because it means different things, which, I've learned. And the same, I know when I'm filing my paperwork, I do a power of attorney. So I am basically my own power of attorney, which is one of the companies. Their letter sent back to me was, you cannot be your own power of attorney. Yes, you can. So
Yeah, you can.
these things do matter, and it's when you really think about it, a very simple way when you understand. And I don't understand everything, but I mean, I've been going down the rabbit hole on the debt discharge for a long time. And yeah, so I'm gonna ask you. Somebody asked a question about birth certificates. He said, "Have you claimed your birth certificate bond with a UCC one?"
So I have the template right here. I actually used I so look, dude, you gotta understand these people are public servants. There's a template on my Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you it right here.
Yes. I'm gonna pull up your
And
Instagram.
like that gentleman said in the comments,
Mm-hmm.
claiming your birth, claiming it back.
Mm-hmm.
There's also an example of fucking Donald Trump using it to discharge charges against him,
Mm-hmm.
against the dead ends legis, because he used the UCC1 financing
Mm-hmm.
and claimed heaven and earth. He claimed life instead of the dead
Yeah.
ends legis.
Do
He
you
took
know,
this shit back over.
is that the same thing as the common law court? Because that I've done the common law court, which is basically claiming back your life. So I don't
Yeah, this is, yeah,
do that
it's
also,
different.
because I have my stuff here and my birth certificates and everything, which now I am traveling out of country soon, and I was mailing with these people, and I just said, so like, just asking questions, and this guy is just like, okay, let me know how it goes, let me know if they say something. Curious. I was like, do these
Yeah.
court people want to be on my live? That would be dope. So I mean, I don't know yet, but I'm here to test out everything. So I got my stuff, and now it's playtime.
Right. Well, this is a template real quick, and I'll read it. It's the UCC1 financing statement that takes back property ownership, basically, of the estate created in the all caps name of you through the
So
birth
before you
certificate.
just read that, so where would people find it? You said you have it on your Instagram.
Yeah. Scroll down.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going all the way, like to where you start seeing documents.
Oh,
Keep it. It's that one, right? Go to the left, right there with the, yeah, that one.
okay.
It's
Sweet,
that one right there.
sweet, sweet. So
It says, go ahead, go ahead.
that document alone, would that basically be claiming back your life? Is that the only document you would need to do for that? Do you get another
I think so. I'm
this?
pretty sure that that's pretty much all you need. But I mean, there's prerequisites that
Uh,
need to be in place. Like you
mhm.
need to have your
That's it.
trust structured so you can protect your estate when you claim
So,
it,
a second.
you
Wait,
know?
this somehow helps you access the Treasury Direct account?
Yeah, that's a whole
But
different animal
yeah,
though.
well, I have a Treasury account. I just haven't. I set it up like I have it, but with the debt discharge too. So I'm right now. I'm just finalizing debt discharge alone, and then the next step in debt discharge is to basically sell your debt on the secondary market, like you were saying before, and then you will be getting money into your Treasury account. So that's my next rabbit hole. But I wanna, I wanna understand all the parts. So first and foremost, I'm just discharging.
So real quick, that all caps name on that UCC1 financing statement that you're claiming back ownership of, that's the
Hmm.
estate, that's like the birth certificate and shit, right? So basically like back in 1933, we were attached to gold and silver and
Yes.
security transfer agents, which are
Yeah.
banks. Um, and that got stolen from us by the United States Washington District of Columbia Incorporated, and in return, they
Mhm.
attached us to an unlimited line of credit through the Social Security number, but didn't tell you how to access it or apply any of that shit.
Mhm.
So, um, when you claim it back, like Back when that shit happened, that whole transaction in 1933, well, those pieces of shits put United States citizens up as collateral. Remember, you're not a United States citizen, dude. You're a private American state national. You don't have a birthday. You have a day of nativity. You're not a fucking vessel that birthed the shore and shit. Like, you don't have a certificate of birth, like a birth certificate like ships do. Like, look at what the fuck this shit is. Open up your eyes. Like, these people are committing fraud up the ass. Like, it's London, dude. The British
Uh,
Empire never fucking left. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing, but we're really supposed to discharge debt, balance out the accounts. Um, take ownership and control over the estate, over the debtor,
mm,
okay, and discharge the debt that fucking thing, that straw man creates out here,
mm-hmm,
buying burgers, whatever. Um, and you know, you get paid through a corporation,
mm-hmm,
out of your own estate. So it's just your money already. So that's how most people move. So you would take the money you make, have a private side, an account, like a private client account open at Chase,
mm-hmm,
attached to your Treasury Direct account. And then you're supposed to wire your securities, your floating rate notes, to your Treasury Direct account to help pay off the national debt, right?
mm-hmm.
And then they're supposed to send back like a times two as a thank you. But
Yes.
that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, yeah, that is right. I started that. So when I started debt discharge, I actually started looking into that, and it just got too much for me at the same time. But that's my next step. Now, when I figured out the first step, this is the next step. So yes, basically, let's say you have $1,000 debt. Technically, you get $2,000 for that. Long story short, but that's my. I have my
Right.
up, so that's gonna be my next project after I get the first step
Yeah.
through.
It's like
And
every check you
somebody
get, just go put that through the Treasury.
Yeah. And somebody, John one asked, what trust and how do we set it up? What does it cost? What does it cost to set up a trust? Is somebody, what is, I don't know if that's what he means, but I'm sure there are some
What's
sort
the
of
question
expenses
again?
involved in like filing stuff. What I'm going to do is just, I'm going to do everything myself and then hire this Laila chick to basically just help look through everything for me.
So this book, Weiss's Concise Trustee Handbook, okay, a guide to the administration of an express trust under the common law, which is the jurisdiction that you want to set your trust up under,
Uh huh.
okay. I have this for sale. I'll shoot it out there for like $10 to anybody that wants it, dude. I'll
Mm-hmm.
shoot you that PDF file. You'll have it forever. You need to get that shit, bro. You need to teach your kids that stuff. Somebody that doesn't know trust, well, learn how to administer one, dude. Learn how to be what these judges are over your estate
Mm-hmm.
that you ought to have control over anyways, and have somebody like Laila Lockwood run you the information on how to create it and all the hidden knowledge about trusts, okay? Um, I have, let me see here. Give me a sec. You could talk. I'm gonna get a book real quick.
He said, "Do you use the UPU, Universal Postal Union, and moving government documents into international morality with a postage stamp autograph?" I don't know what that means. Is that what I did?
Say it again.
He said, "Do you
Is
use
he saying does he
the
every case is a bond, every bond is a security. And he said, "Do you use stamps and shit on your court documents?
He said,
You're supposed to get a true bill copy of the case and
in
10
government
cent
document
stamp every page.
international morality with a postage stamp
It's
autograph."
all taxes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If y'all hop on my page, there's a lot there, dude. There's like a an example packet, to set your ass free from any court case or whatever through the IRS, because that's really all these fucking lower county courts bosses. Remember,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a fucking brokerage firm put up as a front for a court. It's a private corporation. It's not government, dude. I have these people's fucking EINs right in front of my face right here.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the book right here that I have that you can't get anymore. Because they don't print this edition. Gilbert Law Summaries on Trust. I have a shortened, highlighted version of it, ebook. Hit me up. I'll sell it to you. Um, you got to understand a lot out here. There's so many different ways you could come at these people. They're a company, dude. Send them a fucking hold harmless and indemnity agreement. You know what I'm saying? Run that shit up. Um, I was talking about the EINs. Let me find that real quick because I filed every fucking state's EIN number into the case because you can't fucking be a party. A state, a corporation can't be a party to a case, dude. Like, here's on the first page Alabama's EIN number.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's state of Alabama. There's their EIN. Okay, here's fucking. I have all of them. That's the EINs right there. These are the states.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just file this shit into the fucking case, proving you don't have jurisdiction. But also, you gotta know, you gotta have the verbal foundation of what the fuck you're talking about, because you need to talk this, you need to express this shit to these public servants. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know what you're doing. Um,
I will
could
put this
file a
in the caption after so you guys can go check it out. I don't necessarily understand all of this yet, but I will soon.
a 2848 taking over power of attorney
Oh,
in a case,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
because they assume power of attorney over you. Fuck the fuck you do. I don't know you. Where's my signature giving you that?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. Fuck you. I'm my own attorney.
I have like a
Um.
normal person brain example here. So I own a house, right? And
Mhm.
I'm doing the debt discharge on my mortgage as well. But you know, when you buy a house, somebody out there might own a house. You have a real estate agent, then you get a lender, you get the money, and then you pay the house. And then suddenly, as soon as you close on the house, you get a letter in the mail one day where it said they basically sold or gave away your debt to a different company, which I've never agreed to.
Right,
A lot of things they
right.
do, but you have not agreed to anything.
When you get a ticket, everybody like if you're getting pulled over and shit, like first of all, if you get a ticket like when your car's parked or something and it's not
Mhm.
like they needed your signature,
Yeah.
just ignore that shit. You can ignore it, right? Do not consent to contract all big and shit across that motherfucker because it's all contract law.
Mm-hmm.
They are trying to contract with your all caps name entity.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Fuck that shit. No,
Mm-hmm.
they are trying to tax you
Mm-hmm.
for whatever the fuck. Nah, bro, don't let that shit happen. Do not consent to contract picture on the ground. Fuck that shit. And ignore it.
We're just
If
gonna
anything were to come of it, great. You have a picture you could print out of the ticket that they're trying to, impose on you that says do not consent to contract. It's null and void.
mm,
It cannot be enforced. Now, any ticket you may need to sign to get the fuck out of something or whatever, because they're not listening to you invoking your rights and they're kind of
mm-hmm.
forcing you to sign something,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't really know how or have the oomph to stand up like that against these people in those very high anxiety and stressful situations. Totally, I get it. Sign your name, put UD at the end of your name. That voids out that contract. That ticket is a contract
Guys,
under
we have two
duress.
completely free advice from him here how to not pay your tickets, whether you sign them or not. Look at that shit.
And
So
then you
somebody
got to
doesn't know
stand on it
the shit
though.
we're talking about, go try this. Just go try this.
And all this stuff, you need to understand, people. Like, it's your duty to know these laws and impose them on these public servants.
Mm-hmm.
And again, don't expect a little fucking skittle bag like, oh, you're right, do not consent. Okay, have a great day. No, you still need to pay. That doesn't mean anything. It does. It's null and void via contract law. You need to stand on it. You need to stand on that shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't let these people push you around and lie to you once and fold. Like you need to stand on this shit. Do your own due diligence like I preach about what I just said. You know, of course you're gonna come across a bunch of fucking state-funded websites, people that don't know what the fuck they're talking about, that haven't been in a motherfucking courtroom, that haven't done this shit, you
Mm-hmm.
know, that have a opposite interest in this whole thing that are preaching against it.
Mm-hmm.
But you do your due diligence, you read out of their fucking law books, you'll find out, bro. Like under duress, that's not a valid contract. And whatever they're trying to ticket you for is not lawful.
So let me
See,
ask.
it all adds up.
No, wait a second. Okay, so if you already got the ticket and you didn't do what you just said here right away now, and you're sitting at home with your ticket, do I have to send it somewhere?
Go ahead and write do not consent to contract on that motherfucker and
And send it somewhere.
send it to the court. Honestly, personally, me, that's why I wear this body cam footage. I got it for or this body camera, a couple reasons. Um, you know, I got a criminal record out here, so I can't just like stick up for myself when somebody wants to get crazy and kind of just, be clear, get a slap on the wrist. Nah,
Wait,
I'm looking at some
you're not
shit.
allowed to defend yourself?
I'm looking at it, I'm looking at time, big time, if I defend myself because I have a criminal record. That's just how it goes out here in this treasonous land. So, um, what was the question again? I'm sorry.
Um. Oh, before I asked about no, I just said if you already had a ticket. No, you said send it to court. Oh no, you answered that. Nope. I just asked if you couldn't defend yourself, which is crazy.
You send it to you just sign it and then you send it to the court, but
Mm-hmm.
like I was saying, I got this body cam because I would rather go to the court and have myself on footage, handing that motherfucker to the clerk. That way it's on footage, they got it.
Okay.
Everything under law,
Mm-hmm.
when it gets in their hands, it's filed by law. They have to file whatever the fuck you hand them.
Yeah.
Um, yes. So if you have that on video, because they may, they'll deny that they ever got that shit in the mail, right? That's why I
Yeah,
say do
I
what I
had that
do.
scenario with my debt discharge.
And
Remember? It's a company
right.
that's basically refusing my letter now. Because they got the first one and then they guess probably figured it out and don't want to accept the other letters. So you gave me something to you said what? If they refuse it, it's technically already discharged when it comes to debt discharge, you said, right?
Uh-huh. It says it in UCC Article 3, Part 6 right there, I believe subsection B.
I just sent a batch of copies of all the unaccepted letters to their trustee instead. So if
Okay.
that doesn't go through, I will go and hand deliver the shit.
That's how you gotta move.
hmm
That's how you gotta
With my
move.
body cam on, obviously.
Do it. That's also why I have it, dude. Like I got a criminal record. People out here want to talk reckless and get fucking a little too close and shit. And homie, I'm gonna knock you fucking smooth the fuck out, dude. You're on body camera now. The fuck? You started it. You
That's
touched me first.
a good idea.
So,
You should just sell
yeah, it's already saved me from a lot of
just
fucking things.
sell the kits of the outfit and the earpiece and the body cam and just call it the
I
fuck.
got custom embroidered hats. I got business casual custom embroidered
I just got
sweaters
that one.
with my
But
fucking yeah, she just copped that. She's gonna rock it tough.
yeah.
Him and her and King Bao. And I also have custom Muay Thai shorts too with my seal on it. And they say Private American State National with my seal on the back
Yeah, John,
and on the
bring him to Jackson Wink. Yes. What when he can.
who what?
Right now.
I'm poor as fuck right now, dude. Like I look like I got it going on and shit. Nah, dude, I live out of a car.
No,
Like I'm out here doing what I'm doing,
so we gotta
struggling. Like
smuggle you out of there.
I'm just like y'all. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
I ain't out here
We got it. We'll fix that.
living large like that.
I I am a savior angel. One reason I wanted to learn debt discharge, it was never for me. I don't give a fuck. Here's the thing. My mom asked me once when I was on the phone with her, she's like, "What do you do for work? Like, I don't actually know what you do for work. You always used to do all these photo shoots, and now you don't do that. What do you do?" I'm like, "Mom, I manifest." I am so spiritual that I do not give a fuck about money. I don't care about money. And I believe when I get my house, boom, then I had a house. Then the day I bought my house, I manifested that the house had zero debt to it. Boom, I learned about debt discharge. Like, why? Or like a good example, Joel manifested a motorcycle, he got a free one. Why do you need money if you can manifest anything? There's a famous Indian guru man that like had some sort of health facility. It was like $500 million or whatever to build it. And he said he manifested this facility and all of his like fans or whatever was like, but how are you gonna build this? You know, it's $500 million. Like, how's this gonna work? And he said, I manifested, and wherever the money is at a time, they will be. Like, it doesn't matter. People need to stop focusing so much on the money. I was on a call with our spirit mama, we can call her, and our first call ever, she said to me, okay, your goal is to save every child on the planet. I said, yeah. Do you think there are any obstacles for you doing so? And I said, no. So then she says, okay, so what do you need to save them all? And I said, I've said the story before. I don't remember my exact answer, but I probably said something about money. And she said, but Maaxx, why are you stopping halfway? Why do you need to manifest money? Why don't you just manifest them being saved? And I'm like, oh my God, she's so right. Like, why are you aiming here? If you manifest, okay, let's say you're manifesting $10,000. No. What do you need the $10,000 for? That's what you need to manifest, and stop thinking that you have to get a paycheck to get it, because you don't. Crazy shit happen in the universe when you learn how to manifest. Let's say you manifest a house. There is maybe some weird magical way that boom, suddenly somebody gave you a house. Shit like that do happen, and people are like, yeah, yeah, whatever. And I almost feel like sometimes I talk to people I know, and it's not like I don't think they believe me, but still, every time I talk to them, they stress about money. I was like, will you ever stop? I
You
don't
know, it's a
work
damn
for money.
shame looking
I don't
around this
work for money.
country.
I save the universe. My job is to fucking save the planet. And I don't want to call it the planet. I want to save the world, the universe, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I don't give a fuck about any of this. And I believe I met people like you, and I learned about these things because, like I always tell people, you don't need money to do things. If I could debt discharge every single bill I have, why the fuck do I need money? If your
You
endorsement
are equity,
bill
dude.
is the money, why the fuck do I exactly? You are the fucking money. I don't even like the word. We should just stop saying the word money.
Yeah,
But
we are equity. When you sign a promissory note with your equitable signature,
yep,
for anything, it's by law paid for. Straight the fuck up.
exactly.
You just need to know the laws around that and
Mm-hmm.
that involve discharging debt and what have you to
Yep.
implement that.
And it's a little
But
bit,
it's a
but I'm gonna tell everybody this. I am a visual, I'm an artist. I love visual. I'm fantastic at photography and video and creating graphics and all the shit. I am not a word person. It never interested me to read like history or like things where you just read shit, right? It never interested me. I
right.
become a lawyer for some time, and I was like, fuck this shit. There's no way I'm going to sit and read all these books. I'm a visual person. Now started learning about this stuff. Yo, I am a new person. The words, I love the words now because again, words create your reality. You and me had a spiritual conversation today. I was telling you to say something, to manifest. Words create reality. Like, they do matter. And even if I can become interested in this shit, so can you.
Pretty much.
Because it's worth it.
Now, when you were talking about like houses and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
um, smoking on some gas. Um,
We got to give you some fancy skunk Phil weed. We see you actually. Our friend has
oh,
it in the garden. I actually have it. I don't smoke myself, but I'm gonna do some pretty photography for him of it, so I have it in the kitchen.
King Bao was telling me about that.
Yeah, he
Sounds
like grows up
bomb.
beautiful plants out in his house, out of nowhere. So I was like, if you are
Shout
gonna
out.
smoke, that would be it. I have tried it. It's just I'm just like I don't like high things. That's all. But yeah, it was definitely
Yeah.
different. than what I have
That's
experienced.
tight. You were talking about people in houses and shit.
Hmm.
I just want to throw out there, like, it's a damn shame looking at like, so many people in this country just slaving away for so long, making a house payment just to get a piece of paper that's a warranty of deed,
That you never
not an allodial title.
and you never own it. Yep.
Yeah, people need to look into adverse possession. You start
Yes.
getting your land back, dude. Start getting these allodial titles back. You
Hmm.
know, I'll tell you right now, why don't they allow you, why is it illegal to bury a loved one or your family in your backyard?
Here, I'm gonna put this
I'll let the chat answer. See
how
if
what
anybody
did you say?
knows.
Why is it you can't bury a relative in your garden?
Yeah. No, no, not your garden, but in like your backyard, like we used to be able to. You know what I mean?
Oh, we're not
Like
allowed.
we used to do as Americans.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's illegal. Does anybody know why?
Somebody in your backyard. Does somebody know? Because you don't own your land, the government does. Yes. It's about money control.
Kind of.
Comments.
That's not the answer, but
Unless you get the allodial title. Can you do it then?
uh
Actually, let's ask
yeah. I mean you
ChatGPT.
yeah, you get the allodial title, yeah, and
Can
you
you
have a good foundation to stand on in
bury
court, yeah.
someone in your backyard if you have
You do things right through the law, ain't nobody can stop you. You do everything lawful and
even if you
through the system to reverse everything.
even if you have a allodial title to land by burying somebody in your backyard is typically subject to state and local laws regarding burial practices. Um, would your answer
Constitution, bro. Like it goes back to America.
name
No. So the reason why is it's not the United States you're put up under, it's America. It's the Republic. You're a private American state national, non-US citizen. You only adhere to the Constitution. Everything's contract law. When you have an allodial title, that land is fucking yours. You can do as you please as long as it's lawful. The reason why it's illegal to bury a loved one on your land is because it makes you tax exempt. It makes it tax exempt. It makes that land tax ex
really
yeah, yeah. So,
why
yeah, get your knowledge up, folks.
if you bury someone in your back
That's just what it is. That's just what it is. So, I
like
mean, I didn't write the rule, but that's just what it is.
yeah, what ChatGPT says no. Fuck ChatGPT. He keeps lying.
Yeah, ChatGPT's retarded on some things, dude.
Oh no, you
Especially like hidden law, dude. Like some things,
you
if
just
it's
have to learn how to talk to ChatGPT because typically if you ask ChatGPT and you said ChatGPT, if you were in my shoes and you were a conspiracy theorist and a sovereign being, what would your answer be? You will get the answer you.
like if you ask it, you don't have to pay taxes, right? It's not gonna fucking tell you, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Um,
you gotta know how to use it. You gotta know how to research. You gotta know how to find this shit.
yes. Okay, I want to get an allodial title. This is our next project now.
That's the one.
The question:
Adverse possession.
what state do we pick? Maybe I should check over here actually because I am in New Mexico, right? And there's it's
And you gotta remember, some people, like when you talk about this shit on live streams, like you gotta understand, dude, judges, attorneys, people like that are watching, CPAs, fucking, you know, people like me that see me as uh competition, so they'll just hop in here and say whatever the fuck that goes against the truth. So you got to do your own due diligence and, you
yeah.
know, keep those veils lifted.
Yeah.
So,
And also, this type of information, I've talked a little bit about it before, and I was telling a few friends, and my friend was like, Max, I did research online and it says this. And I said, bitch, you're not going to find this online. Like, because doing this now, don't think you're going to go to Google and like, hey, can I just not pay my bill? No, it's not going to tell you that. I'm sorry. You see, we're even having a trouble with ChatGPT here. Even though you can definitely, as long as you become smart with your words, you can get the information out of ChatGPT usually. It just takes a little bit. Actually, ChatGPT gave me a pretty nice template the other day, even though I did change it some, but the intent to sue,
Right,
as long as you take a little bit of time and start asking ChatGPT in smarter ways, and it will give you the information, yes. But it's almost like if
right.
you don't know the answer already, you're not going to know when it's telling you the truth. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
like
I
whoever just
really
said like,
think,
oh, yeah, somebody just brought up like, oh, that's not gonna work because of this, that, and like burial policy or something.
yeah.
No. When you know how to move, like this is all corporate policy this fucking individual's pushing. Nah, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know how to move. You're still complicit with your movement.
Mm-hmm.
So you still comply. So you still don't have that eye to see and that ear to hear.
Yeah.
Or you're an agent. So I mean,
Yeah.
and burial shit. Get out of here, bro. Ain't no constant injured party, damaged property, stolen property. Fuck out of here, bro. That's my land. That's my family. Move.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You gotta literally keep it that simple with
Mm-hmm.
these fucking pirates out here. You know?
But
So,
if I wanted to make my own house an allodial title, like what should I just let it be, and like how does a place become that,
so, um,
or do you know?
I don't know about that one, but as far as obtaining one through adverse possession,
Mm-hmm.
um, I
Because
haven't done too much on this, but I know enough to say that, um, like I mentioned before, like in a lot of articles talking about like squatters and shit not being able to get kicked
I have
out. Well,
a water in
they're
my apartment.
they're
I have been to jail one whole day in my life, and that was a crazy story, and that's when I realized how fucked up the system is in this country. And that was like one of my first that was my first year ever in the United States, and I think that's when I learned that everything is
yeah.
fucked up here, and I could not get this bitch out of my apartment, even though she made up a story and I wasn't even in the state, and I tried to kill her. I tried to kill a person that was in the state where I wasn't even in the same state. So I guess my ghost flew there, and then, it was just crazy, and I could not get her out of the freaking place. Luckily, she got herself out because she was a druggie and put my bed on fire while she was laying in it. But yeah, that was a
Wow.
pretty
Okay.
crazy story. Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember
Checks
the rest.
out.
But yes, I've experienced some legal system,
Definitely.
even if it's frustrating.
Adverse possession, like a lot of these squatters in the articles that talk about some case or some matter involving like an owner with a squatter.
Mm-hmm.
It's somebody that's trying to impose adverse possession and use that law. So how that works, simply put, well, there's a bunch of residential only is what I'm referring to. There's a bunch of vacant and abandoned property like everywhere you go, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, there's a difference between the warranty of deed and an allodial title. All these fucking new homes and shit, you're gonna come out here and pay these fucking payments for 30 years on a mortgage. At the end of it, you're not getting the title, a allodial title. You're
Mm-hmm.
getting a warranty of deed. You're getting a deed.
Mm-hmm.
So the United States Washington District of Columbia Incorporated actually owns that property. That's why there's property taxes due every year
Mm-hmm.
after you pay it off. You don't allodially own it through the allodial title.
Mm-hmm.
So how to do adverse possession, it's basically, you go to the city and you request through whatever process that they tell you that they have to request like a list of all the vacant and abandoned property for the city.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Now you just go drive around to the list and you're looking for property that you like that it's not fucking just blown out, you know what I'm saying? That has some potential, just whatever. Even if it's a piece of shit and you got the means, the want, and you just want that land for location, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
If you like that land, you have an interest in that land that's vacant on that list that you got from the city,
Mm-hmm.
well, mind you, you're adversely possessing that land
Uh-huh.
via law to get that allodial title. So you're not going to pay any real estate fees. You're not going to fucking pay any third party fees. No commissioner, no commissioner, no fucking sales dude, no real estate agent commissions, no hidden anything. You're going to hit up the city about the property that you have interest in. You
Uh-huh.
want it to obviously visually have like visually no the owner hasn't like been there for like 5 years because the whole key is you don't want this motherfucker to come back within the time frame the city gives you to
Mm-hmm.
pay for the taxes or whatever the leftover fees are on that property, which is all you're gonna have to pay for
Mm-hmm.
to get that allodial title. That's the thing.
So
So you
project.
you do a deal with the city.
Where do I get
You
the
do a deal with the city. What do you get what?
where do I get the list of allodial titles? So if I'm gonna do it here now, I'm gonna do a test and fucking document it.
You get a list of vacant properties for whatever city that you want to live in and own
Yeah.
a house in, right?
So where
And then
yeah, that's what I meant.
because it's vacant and abandoned, it's a allodial title. It's not a warranty of deed. The fucking United States doesn't own it. It's vacant and abandoned, right? So you're gonna get that allodial title after you pay it off and after. So to make it clear, you're gonna go to the city with
Uh-huh.
some interest on some property and you're gonna come up with a deal like, okay, they're gonna tell you there's this amount of taxes and shit and
Mm-hmm.
fees on the house, which is gonna be ass compared to a full fucking tax sales price,
So would it
all that
work
shit.
because I'm like Googling as you're talking. So I want to ask for a list of vacant properties. Like what's the
Yeah,
wording here? Like
vacant and
or
abandoned property.
abandoned. Maybe I'm gonna have to say that because my Google is telling me to go to Zillow. I'm like, okay, cool.
No, you want to go to the city and they're gonna tell you to like email them to request a
The
list.
city of
You
Albuquerque.
know, you gotta go to the city in person and ask, like, hey, I want a list of all the residential like properties that are vacant and abandoned.
Yeah,
Like, 'cause it's the same thing,
they
but
call
like
it
some cities
Albuquerque's
don't.
problematic properties program. That's where I go. Apparently, it says city of Albuquerque, Albuquerque's problematic property program. Cool. I'm on it. I'll do.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect. And
City.
then you get that list from them. You go drive to properties if you like one. It doesn't look like the owner's been there in 5 years. That's good because that means the likelihood of him coming back within the time frame that the city gives you to pay off
Yeah.
all the fees on the property to get the allodial title and own it. And you can live in it as you do so.
Uh
But
huh.
the moment the owner comes back and shows interest in the property within the time frame of what the city gave you to pay it off to own it,
Mm-hmm.
then it cancels out. They get their property back. But if they don't ever come back or show interest,
Mm-hmm.
well, I mean, you could litigate it, but that's how that works.
Interesting. Well, I am fucking
Yeah.
doing this shit. I'm just gonna find one, spice it up, and do Airbnb. There we go.
Now the person to hit up for that is his Instagram handle,
Mm-hmm.
Moorish Lighthouse Official,
Wait,
Jaleo Bay, I believe.
Morris, Morris,
Moorish, Moorish,
ISH. Uh huh.
Lighthouse Official.
Lighthouse official. No, I did not find shit. What did I do wrong? Hold on. Just gonna find it.
Maybe I
Morris
said it wrong.
Lighthouse
I'm not sure.
official. Yeah, I just no, it was just Morris. But I don't find an Instagram for some reason. I found a bunch of websites. Oh, here. I found it.
Okay.
No. No. Oh, no, that's something else. What? There's apparently a lighthouse called Morris. Okay, never mind.
Type in like Moorish, Lighthouse Official.
Oh, just fine. Okay, here we go. I was like, I don't know what I did.
Just,
Here.
there you go. That's the
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Uh,
That's the man with the plan on an adverse possession. He's
oh,
got that shit sewed up.
okay, I
So,
got homework to do. Love it. we're doing that. I want to own more property, and clearly I don't own my house actually. So I've always been like, when I bought it, somehow I knew I wasn't going to be there, but I just have, I trust my intuition very much. And I found this house. I just decided I'm going to buy a house. And I hit up my friend who's a real estate and I said, I'm going to buy a house. And she's like, okay, cool. And she's like, what are you doing today? She just drove me around, showed me some houses. I was like, nope, not like, I don't like them. Blah, everything's shit. She's like, oh, a new house just popped up. Like we were on our way back home. She's like, let's just check it out. It's not far away. We go there. I'm like, this is it. It looked like a shithole. I'm not lying, but I just saw people in that house. I didn't spend a lot of money to spice it up. Anyone who's seen my house knows it's a fucking photography content heaven. I didn't spend very much money. Just did it. And I was like, I just know I need to own this. Have own this house for whatever reason. I lived there for a few months. Then I moved here to train MMA, rented out the house, and I have a tenant. But so I mean, like I don't technically I pay like a little bit because yeah, interest is high. But now I'm debt discharging it, so then it's literally just a money maker. So yes, I do make
Big
money,
time.
but I don't really like put any effort on making money, if that makes sense. I just do
Well,
it,
that's a good thing.
like sit on a live stream, talk shit. Not talk shit.
We're all attached to an unlimited line of credit. We're not supposed to be doing shit.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's talk a little bit about taxes then. And I know you need to go probably maybe no, I'm an hour ahead of you. But whenever you need to go.
My battery's about to die, so
Oh,
I
okay,
mean,
so quick. If I don't want to pay taxes, what do I do?
look into the revocation of election.
Mm-hmm. Like
Look into
what?
the revocation of election document. You're literally revoking the election you never technically made to pay taxes. First of all, you need to come to an
Yeah,
understanding
but
and
uh,
overstanding. You need to come to an overstanding that it's unlawful to pay taxes. There is no law that says you have to pay taxes.
yes.
Period. Point blank fucking period. You need to overstand that you're not a United States citizen. You're a private American state national.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I still need to figure out how to like do the tax forms and shit to like go work for a company like anybody and have all my money come to me through the documentation of the IRS, like the revocation of election. But
Mm-hmm.
I'll just go ahead and give you what I know. So the revocation of election,
Is it
it's
the
words with these
right?
people. 5768, yep.
Yes. Okay.
It's to revoke the election you technically never made for
Mm-hmm.
them to tax you. So
Mm-hmm.
you're revoking that election to be taxed that you and how I would do it, right? I already did it. Like I mean, I sent it to like some dude in the back room of the company that handles the taxes to send it off to the IRS when
Uh-huh.
I started working with this one company, but
Mm-hmm.
nothing happened. So I'm gonna have to do it myself,
Uh,
certified mail,
got it. Mm-hmm. And
and see what happens. But what I did was I filled that out, and on the back of it, just wrote shit down. Like it's unlawful to pay taxes. And I order you to bring forth the document with my wet ink signature on it, giving you permission to tax me. You cannot. It does not exist.
mm-hmm. So let me ask,
Make me tax exempt.
do
Like,
if I
you
do
know.
not file this paper right here and I decide to not pay taxes anyway, am I doing something wrong?
If you say that one more time.
So if I don't file this form 5768 and I just decide to not pay taxes anyway, am I doing something wrong?
Um, they're gonna come after you because you're gonna like go to jail probably or like get in some sort of
Can they get
issue you're not trying to deal with because this is something that you need to be competent to handle your own affairs.
yes.
So you need to be able to like understand once again, you're not a US citizen, it's
Mm-hmm.
unlawful to pay taxes,
Mm-hmm.
and it says that in the IRS code books and shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference between tax evasion and tax avoidance. So, um, you gotta just do a little bit of research, figure it out, and like understand that there's a document right there that exists that says revocation of election for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's to revoke the election to be taxed that you never even gave up,
So
and just
file it.
simply draft a letter. Know you're powerful. Draft a letter ordering them to bring forth
Mm-hmm.
the wet signature document with your signature giving them permission to tax you. That motherfucker does not exist. It never did. You know what I mean? Um, but we got to do research to myself included to figure out how to do that when you you gotta get a LLC and use with your name. You got to create a business, an LLC out of your name. Use that EIN number in replacement of your social security number. You need to
Oh,
stop
so
using
file
your fucking
a
social security
business
number.
with your actual name.
Yeah, yeah, and
So see that
you
because
need to
taxes is a whole different thing. So, for
yeah.
example, and I said I don't know if you know here, but I was following another person who does similar things, who told me that personal taxes you don't need to pay, though she said certain business taxes you're still gonna need to pay. That's what this person said. So then I'm wondering, how that, but that's something else we need to look into, unless you know something about it.
No, I think you might be right on that because it
Yeah.
puts you as an entity. You know what I mean? Like you're just taking control of the entity. There might be
File an LLC.
certain business tax, but
If you file an LLC with your name on, that would be a business though.
whoa, so like what I'm saying is when you fill out like tax forms and shit, you use that EIN number
Mm-hmm.
instead of your social security number, but like so when you go to apply for a job, that's what you're gonna use, right? And you're gonna use your LLC name,
Jobs.
I would imagine.
For
Don't quote me on that, but the point is about the revocation of election. You're gonna send that shit in like calling out the main thing. I order you to bring forth the wet signature document
I'm gonna do it.
of
File
my election to tax me.
on
You can't. It doesn't exist, quote unquote. You know what I mean? And just figure out that shit about the LLC. I've been focused on other shit, like literally
yeah,
facing judges and shit in
yes.
person, but
You do your thing. I'm
um
figuring this out. I had a question. CJ
no,
asked.
I do it all. I'm like doing it all, but I've been like I just got out of facing 8 years and being my own attorney and fucking getting out in like 3 months and 20 days, like if back in October. I had a job up in Irvine, fucking selling car contracts, making some good money. Um, you know what I'm saying? So doing a lot, trying to do it all.
Well, you're not gonna need to worry about anything soon, I'm sure. But
Oh
CJ,
hell no.
also, if you have bad debt, actually, I need to point this out because also, if you have bad debt, once they sell that debt off to a debt collector, you don't have to pay it because you didn't sign any contract with them. Yes, CJ, that's true in a way. They can send you for collections and it will screw up your credit. I have a live from, what is it, a week ago with this guy Cedric who does credit repair. So credit repair is basically the same thing as we're talking about here. All you got to do is submit certain legal letters to the credit bureau and they are obligated to remove the account from your credit report. So that's a
Yeah,
difference.
if you go to my profile, I did that with LexisNexis.
Oh, you did? Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
Where did we
I
find
had them remove three fucking things.
it? It's on here?
Yeah, go down a little bit, go down,
That's it.
go up. It's that one right there. Go down. That has a couple things highlighted in red. That document.
That one?
That one. Yeah.
Yes. So it's kind of like a similar thing. So CJ, as you said, either
It's
you
similar.
it and you don't care about your credit. But something else that we're gonna get into later is like I want to do this thing where you basically go and get a car and don't pay for it. And more about that coming later. And I will need to have some sort of credit to go and apply for the car in the first place. So,
Yeah, but when you do,
mhm.
when you do and you go finance that car, Max, just, go focus on that promissory note. Because when you sign that promissory note, that car is lawfully paid for. And then you're gonna take
Don't
that home.
credit?
What?
Do they not need to run my credit?
No, they're probably gonna run your
Yeah,
credit so you can finance the vehicle.
exactly. So I'm gonna
But
need
then,
credit score. That's what I said. Either you said, fuck it, I don't care about my credit score, or maybe you will need your credit score for something. So that's another part.
hmm
That was his response.
but take that promissory note
Hmm.
home and then reprint it out on some bond paper.
Yeah.
Endorse the back of it. Put two 10-cent stamps on the right hand lower corner of the front and back. You know what I'm saying?
Like
And I'll
a
stop there. But
fucking stock collection of stamps at home right now. I have no idea. And yes, and I also had actually the bond paper. You were talking about bond paper the other day. I had the one that I'm supposed to have, the 32 thickness. I don't know
cool,
where I was
cool.
getting the other number from. Yeah, that's all I've been doing. So the only real juicy expense you guys are gonna have here is bond paper because that's not fucking cheap. I will tell you that. And I don't know
And
how
a
I
good printer.
the, the letters because my printer was an asshole, but that's okay. This is for me because I'm learning so many things, and now I don't pay for mail and stuff anyway. So now it's
Oh,
like,
my phone's at 1%, so
oh,
I gotta let you
you can
run
cut it
right now.
now, and then we'll be back later. And I'm putting all the documents and stuff in the caption. And if you guys want to hit him up, uh, you can go to his. Just putting it. I'm putting all your stuff in there. You can go to his
Thank
Instagram
you so much, Max. It's been an absolute
and
pleasure.
you can get in touch with him, and you can do a consultation. And he has special price, $50. Just fucking just hire him and do a call. It's worth it. Trust me. I just didn't spend like okay, he probably froze up. That's fine. So today I went and sent out a bunch of letters, which the certified mail. So I sent 12 letters, I think, and they're about $7 each. That's $84 that I didn't pay today for my mail. Uh, and that was my debt discharge stuff that I sent out, which means when that goes through, I'm not going to have to pay a very large amount of money, let's just say. My house is one of the things in there. My house was a lot of $100,000, let's just say. So I'm going to put all the information out there, and I am starving right now, actually. So yeah, fitness girls. Oh, jeebus, man, it's been so long. Wow, an old friend. Look at that. Either way, yeah, we got stuff going on. So today I successfully sent the mail for free. That was nice. And I know Taylor has some sort of like, I think you can buy the templates for like all the things. I don't know. You might want to like send him an email and ask about it. But all these different types of templates and letters and whatever you can get from him, and basically just change it out a little bit to your own information. And it's been a very fun journey. And one thing that I was going to point out, so I got this new passport, right? And I emailed these people. I've asked if they want to be on a live stream too. So this is commonlawcourt.com. I asked the guy the other day. I said, okay, so I'm going to travel with this to a different country. And I said, so like, does this stuff work everywhere? And the guy's only answer is, if you're not afraid to use it, it's very useful everywhere. I'm like, that's all I need to know. Because again, we're not, all these things we talk about, if you know your rights, you know your rights. And you can't go to like, you can't go to the post office and be like, hey, so I want to send my mail for free. Like, they're not going to tell you. They probably won't even know. Like you say, I had to go to two post offices until a lady actually understood that yes, she has to she's obligated to take my mail for free. Then when you send in the debt discharge, they're always going to try to reject you. Just don't accept it. And I'm definitely going to do the application for the tax revocal. So I will let you guys know how that goes, because I would assume typically these companies are very good at responding, because when you send the letters, you always say all correspondence has to be in writing, because you want to have all the evidence for court. So you want to have everything in writing. So all these companies are responding in letters, and they're very quick on answering because they clearly Like the first time I talked to Taylor and I told him about the responses I've been getting, and he was just like, "Do you know what this means, Maaxx?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You got them by the balls." Like the fact that they're trying to call me every day, leaving voicemails asking me to call them back, and I'm not calling because I need everything in writing, but asking me to call them back because they are so, concerned with their customers. Um, no. They said we value our customers' concerns and we want to find a solution. They said. I mean, they could just say fuck it and just like kick me out or like not have me as a customer, do whatever. But obviously, they can see that I am sending them legal documents and I'm on the right here. So yeah, it's cool. It's a cool process, and I will keep you guys posted. But I definitely suggest everyone to start looking into this. And I'm gonna jump off and eat food because I'm very hungry now. But we're gonna do more live streams. I'm gonna have him back later. Um, we have some ideas. We might do, more stuff together. But it's super cool. Also, this girl. So I'm going to use this lady for my trust. I'm creating everything myself, but what I am going to do is hire her for a consultation to basically look over everything I've done to make sure I've done it in the best way possible. So she's the one, and I've heard about her before. So when Taylor told me, because here's the thing, I reached out to Taylor and asked him if he could help me set up my trust. And he was like, well, I can. And then he said, but you know what? Do you know who's the best of the best? And I was like, this is an awesome dude, He could have just helped me, but no, he knows somebody that does it even better. So he referred me to her for that. So I'm definitely going to do that. I know she had some different stuff. She's expensive, but as I've heard, she's the best of the best. I've seen her do some stuff with Don Keelam. If you guys don't know who he is, he's one of those famous people in the sovereign world. Um, so I know she had, you can buy ebooks and stuff from her, I believe, as well, about trusts. So what does it mean when you're setting up a trust? You're basically securing your family's future. So you want to know, so the book he was saying, there's a handbook on know how to guide it. So let's say you have a trust, everything you own is now within the trust, right? When you have a child, you need to forward this information to your child, and this is how you create generational wealth. And this is what all the fucking very rich people in the world knows about. So learn about it, guys. Let's see. I'm gonna do a quick check through if somebody had any more questions, and otherwise I'm jumping off to eat foodies and probably go train. I also want to shout out because King Bao is probably information coming more about some fight news, and we're super fucking pumped and stoked. And not tomorrow, Wednesday, I go live with my client Carla. We're gonna do some live breath work. That's gonna be fun. And then what else do I have this week? I might have a few more lives. Oh, I have a live with Jost, our favorite Jost, Netherland vampire guy. We're going to talk about Egypt and pyramids and share some secrets about that. So stick around, and definitely go watch the replays of. I have some cool, if you haven't seen them already. My let me see here, lives. We got Dr. Greer's a fraud. We cover that. Some evidence saying that maybe Dr. Greer is a fraud. This one is cool too. With Blake, we're talking about a lot of spirituality and a lot of cool shit. This is my brain scan. If you guys haven't seen it, on the food technology. This is Cedric on credit repair. Yes. And then obviously I have a lot of cool Acemannan stories. This is my friend who broke his back, spine, and fused up faster than doctors ever seen. This lady used to have cancer. He used to have cancer, was in the military. So many stories. This one is great too. So I named it the fragile knees and to bulletproof. This is Nick. His dad is 81 years old, had 4 COVID shots, and has recovered extremely well, 81 years old, and now goes to the gym 3 days a week. So there's hope for everybody. If you guys want to get on the food technology, the Acemannan food technology, you can go to nobloatclub.com. click on Acemannan, get on it. What does it do? It helps your body optimize itself. So it boosts your stem cell production and it resets and optimizes your immune system. And then we have our beta-lin technology that reduces cellular inflammation. I got a comment the other day from a guy. It said, I'm going to pull it up so you guys know I'm not lying, even though I know you know I'm not lying. You guys know I never lie. But I'm going to show you anyway. Here. So here's a comment I got the other day. You really do like you're going backwards in age lately, and I've been following you for years. So what does this food technology actually do? Yes, it helps your body start to heal itself from sickness, illness, diseases, health conditions. But like the big picture, so when you boost your stem cell production, only the good ones also, it doesn't boost the bad ones. Acemannan goes in and basically helps the body eliminate bad cells and replicate good cells. So it increases your stem cell production up to 400%. So why do we need baby blood? We don't. That's why the upper power wants babies. They want their stem cells. And their adrenochrome. That's a different story. Adrenochrome live we have also done in the past. And when you reduce cellular inflammation and boost your body full, pump your body full of stem cells, you start to de-age, meaning your body starts to age backwards. So yes, it's very true. I've been thinking about doing a live stream and actually show, I just need to do a little scrolling in my phone and find maybe videos from like last year and a couple of years back, close-up stuff. I'm sure I can find something where you can really see my skin and everything. I might actually also hit up my old Botox guy because he always used to take before and after photos. And I used to do Botox and filler and now I don't. So I want to do a video about that showing, here, I don't know if I need to set up the camera differently, but if you guys see it, it's not that I don't have wrinkles. They're there, obviously. But you see when I relax, I don't know if you guys can see. The wrinkles are there, but when I relax, there is no trace of it. I don't even have these. I used to have the deep smile lines because I smile a lot. That's not a bad thing. And as you can see, I also have the lighting. My lighting, I like it from the side, meaning you can see flaws, if that makes sense. So I do want to do I do have a lot of wrinkles on my nose, but you see when I relax, they're not there. They're completely gone. And that's kind of the goal here, for wrinkles to not stay. Also, my hair has gotten crazy. I have way less gray hair than I used to. I have a couple of gray hairs. I'm not going to lie. They're there somewhere. It's not much, though. I used to be way more than that. So we want to do a video actually showing this really well. Yes, it is possible to reverse your age. I keep saying it, but I need to make an appointment to do my bioidentical age test that basically tells you what age your body is, and not your actual human age, but what age is your body. So I am going to do that test so I can show you guys that too. We have our friend Joe Bush. I have a live stream with him. He did his test. He is, how old is he now? 40, 48? Yeah, something like that, 48. I think his test said 25 or something. So he cut his life insurance policy in half. It's crazy. Either way, have a good night, guys. Love you all. Stick around. There's going to be more information. All the links in the caption. I'll see you soon.